The Edmonton Oilers have a golden opportunity as one of the best college players in the United States is on the trade block, and the Oilers are the front runners. How is that? We'll explain today all that more on Oilers Digest in this video. But first, 86% of you have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you haven't done so already, folks, free agent frenzy, it is the time to do so. Make sure you hit that button down below, and you won't miss any of our fantastic content. But folks, without further ado, I mean, the Oilers in, top prospects, that's something that we haven't heard of in quite some time, but they have the opportunity to go in, grab one, as we're all aboard for negotiation station, and that would be for one Mr. Isaac Howard of the Michigan State Spartans. You can see they're drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round, 31st overall in the 2022 NHL entry draft. He hasn't signed his entry-level contract yet, so the Tampa Bay Lightning still have his rights, and if it goes unsigned after this year, the Tampa Bay Lightning will lose him, so they are currently shopping him. As Isaac Howard said, he doesn't want to play for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but very, very impressive player, so much so that he was named the 2025 Hobey Baker winner for the best college player in the NCAA. He beat out other notable NHL prospects. The other two candidates, I mean, very impressive. Washington Capitals top pick Ryan Leonard in Minnesota Wild defenseman Zeev Boyum there. So for Isaac Howard to beat out those two for the Hobey Baker Trophy, I mean, very, very impressive player. You can see there the resume already. I mean, he's been all over the place with the Shattuck St. Mary's team, a well-renowned school for up-and-coming hockey players in the United States, and even, Canadian players as well, too, because I do believe Sidney Crosby went to Shattuck St. Mary's there, same with, players like Jonathan Toews. But from there, he went to the U.S. National Team Development Program in the USHL, and then went to the University of Minnesota Duluth for one season before transferring to Michigan State there. And again, all across the board, internationally and college-wise, very, very impressive player. You can see there in the 2024 World Junior Hockey Championships, 7 goals in 7 games there, a goal per game there for Isaac Howard for a total of 9 points, and even so much so, 52 points in 37 games for the Spartans last year in the NCAA. Now, Tampa Bay would love to sign him, but again, Howard has indicated that he's not interested in staying in the Lightning organization for reasons I have no idea. I mean, the Lightning very well run there, but Isaac Howard, probably wants a better spot. This puts Tampa in a spot where they either trade Howard to a team he's willing to sign with, or wait until next summer when their rights expire and they lose him to free agency for a late second-round pick as compensation. Now you're asking, where do the Oilers come into this situation? But they are one of the teams that Isaac Howard probably wants to play for, because the Oilers, they have been sending, Tampa Bay trade offers for Isaac Howard. Anything or nothing has yet to go through, obviously, otherwise this video would be completely different. But you can tell, Isaac Howard probably expressed, Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, who wouldn't want to play with them. But from Frank Saravalli, there's many people around the league that thought the Oilers were getting Isaac Howard. I think even people around Isaac Howard thought he was going to Edmonton. The Oilers, to my understanding, told Tampa that they could and would do a late first-round pick in exchange for Howard's rights. That apparently wasn't good enough. There's a clock ticking to this. If they lose Howard's rights, if he doesn't sign next August, they're going to get the last pick. Tampa Bay is going to get the last pick of the second round as compensation. It seems like the arrogance of the Tampa Bay Lightning are what's gotten in the way with this player. As you can see, Julien Brisebois, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning, obviously thinks he can get a lot more for Isaac Howard. But, as the deadline comes near, there's a good chance he might buckle and, take the best offer that he can. And maybe the Oilers' best offer is the best offer. Who knows? I haven't seen what other teams have been putting up for Isaac Howard here. But Julien Brisebois is very patient. I don't know how long this is going to take. We're perfectly comfortable waiting until the end there. So opposite end of the spectrum here for Brisebois. Even though, Saravalli said the Lightning had their back up against the wall. Brisebois, no sweat off his back whatsoever here when it comes to the handling of Isaac Howard. It's either, take a second-round pick as compensation, a late second-round pick, which is pretty much an early third-rounder in this day and age, or, take the Oilers' offer of a late first-round pick. That's essentially where Isaac Howard was selected anyways. So I don't know what Julien Brisebois is all about there, but, the price tag is obviously higher. But if the Oilers, do manage to get Isaac Howard, what can they expect from this type of player? From the Elite Prospects 2022 draft guide there, right away, Howard's skating stands out, pushes his knees past his toes, engaged his hips, and maintained his posture in tight while deking or on the back check. His top hand moves freely around his body, which he turns into incredible stick handling displays. We're pretty much used to that with, Connor McDavid every single night when handling. He's scanning, adjusts his body positioning to get pressure on his back, then uses hesitations and changes a pace to slip around the check. So a very elusive player there, not just his skating wise, but also his shot here from the Elite Prospects Rinkside site. An offensive dynamo. Howard has a natural instinct for scoring, and he's a deceptive shooter, changing the angle on goalies before ripping pucks home. And I watched a few highlights, from the Michigan State season for Isaac Howard. Again, big fan of his shot there. Very deceptive off of his stick there, and something that the Oilers could desperately use on that second line right next to Leon Draisaitl there. But again, the price tag for Howard, the preference for Julien Brisebois in the Tampa Bay Lightning would be to get something much better in exchange for a prospect of Howard's stature, and really the only one that the Oilers do have is unfortunately the only other top prospect in the Oilers organization, which is Matthew Savoy there, and I don't think the Oilers want to get rid of him whatsoever there, so it'll be a tough price for the Oilers to pay, if they can even pay it at all there. Would it be nice for the Oilers to get him? Absolutely, but realistically, do I see it happening? I don't think so. I mean, there are other teams around the league that are in Edmonton's sort of cup contending window there with the assets that are very much more expendable than Edmonton. As you can see there, Edmonton third last in the 2025 Athletic NHL prospect pool rankings, as the Oilers are now without 4 of their last 5 first-round picks, and we all saw the other Oilers, their draft class for 2025 there. And their first pick wasn't until the 3rd round. There's nothing much to write home about. I mean, hopefully some diamonds in the rough there. But for the Oilers, again, when you're in a cup contending window, you got to make it work somehow. And, they've been using those picks on players that can help them during their cup runs. I know other teams managed to make it work during their cup window. I mean, Dallas, Carolina, to say the least. I don't know how they do it. I mean, they have a much better management team, but the Oilers, again, I don't see a very realistic shot for them to land Isaac Howard, although it would be nice. As you can see there, it would bolster their prospect pool if the Oilers were able to get this done without having to give up Matt Savoy there. But again, no disrespect there to Sam O'Reilly or Samuel Janssen, but again, that prospect pool, nothing much to write home about there. And again, the Oilers offering a late first round pick that would be 2027, and that's a player that wouldn't be ready to go NHL ready anyways until 2031, 2032, and that's quite a ways away there. That's still in the mid, or that's still near the end of Darnell Nurse's contract. That's how long it is. But the Oilers with Tampa Bay, I don't think Tampa Bay really likes that 2027 first rounder there. They want something that would bring them much more immediate help there. But Howard clearly has some leverage. Teams won't touch him if they think he won't sign, giving him a big say in where he might go. If he waits until next year, he can choose his landing spot, but Howard seemingly wants to begin his NHL career this season, so perhaps his camp will become more amenable as the season nears. If the Oilers do land Isaac Howard, there's already a logjam in the top 6 for the Oilers anyways. That's not even including the bottom 6, but again, lots of competition is healthy for this team. It makes every single player on that team that much better. But that is it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about Isaac Howard. I haven't seen too many Michigan State games. I just watched highlights. Not really I don't want to say a fan, but I don't watch too much college hockey to begin with. That should probably change at some point. When there's nothing else on, I should probably watch, an NCAA game. But that will have to wait until the season starts. But again, let me know down in the comments if you've seen Isaac Howard. Would you love him on the Oilers, or is the price too rich to pay for a player like him? Again, very curious to see what you all have to say in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe here to the channel for any and all Oiler news. Nick and I will be here all summer long here covering the Oilers. So stay tuned and take care. I'm Matt.